Good morning. My name is Reese, and I will be your chairperson for today's service. Are there any new visitors or new students and families here this morning? First, we will have sutra chanting. Please join in the reading of Sambujo on page 24 in the Big Book, followed by Sanbutsuge on page 22 in the Little Book, or page 79 in the Big Book.
三昧智恵一等無量主所敬陣内千年勝仏法内愚人人の苦悩外大無明欲ぬ生存用無人の死死人の苦無量苦苦のない知恵人妙法名一層心の内戦願が三仏最小法可動所持未不下な不正上位戒人精進行政三昧知恵以上無正と無仏不行心願一切空空一切大安慶始無仏百千の万無量大小衆行無邪空用一切死と消仏不女部の検証不逆非尿語 너무 변호세 이사이 너헌보나 이신 어조
Now we'll have Gatha, Buddha Loves You on page 39, followed by the golden chain located on page 2 in the little book and page 15 in the big book under the golden chain 1.
Okay, everybody wings out. Ready? Fly, fly, little bird. Buddha loves you, little bird. Tweet, 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 tweet. Run, run, little pup. Buddha loves you, little pup. Bow, wow, 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 wow. Don't cry, pussycat. Buddha loves you, pussycat. Mew, 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 mew. Big finish. Swim, swim, little fish. Buddha loves you, little fish. Oh, good job.
The golden chain. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Rinban Sakamoto.
Good morning. Good to see all of you here in the Hondo and at home watching us, hopefully. The Gatha that we just read, the Sanbutsuge, and I think of it as a Gatha, although I'm not sure if it's technically referred to as a Gatha, but it appears in the larger Pure Land Sutra. And the larger Pure Land Sutra is one of 3 sutras that are important to us in Jodo Shinshu. There are about 1,650 sutras, and a sutra is a Dharma message that is attributed to Shakyamuni Buddha. So often, when Shakyamuni Buddha met with his disciples, when he met with his students, he would tell them about what he had experienced and what his understanding was. And his students would remember what he talked about. After Shakyamuni Buddha died, they all gathered together and they shared what they remembered of Shakyamuni Buddha, what he talked about. And so often sutras begin with Nyoze Gammon, thus have I heard. So it's somebody recalling the words of Shakyamuni Buddha. And in this larger Pure Land Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha tells us about a bodhisattva, Dharmakara, who sets out on this quest to find a way through which everyone, regardless of who we are, everyone can experience enlightenment, be free of the difficulties that we cause and experience. This is a gatha that we should, a sutra that we should all be kind of familiar with. Not the whole text of the sutra, but this overall kind of a story of Dharmakara. Who does Dharmakara become? Anybody know? Dharmakara becomes somebody very important. Yes, yes. You get 2 points. Who was that? Yay! Okay. Oh, Mrs. Bussy? Okay, so long-time Dharma school teacher. Yeah, so everybody should know this story, this larger Pure Land Sutra. Even if you only just remember the title of the sutra, it's okay. But in this larger Pure Land Sutra, there's this overarching story of the Bodhisattva Dharmakara who meets a teacher, the Buddha Lokeshvara Raja, and studies with him for a very long time, and eventually makes these promises before Lokeshvara Raja, and then goes on to practice for a very, very long time, study and practice, and eventually fulfills these promises that he's made before the Buddha Lokeshvara Raja. And fulfilling those promises, keeping those promises, Dharmakara becomes Amida Buddha. And at the core of these promises is that everybody, regardless of who we are, is able to experience the resolution of difficulties, become Buddha. No matter who we are, no matter what we've done, no matter where we come from, everybody, regardless, will be assured of the eventual resolution of difficulties. This Gatha, which we just read, the Sanbutsuge, appears in this larger Pure Land Sutra, this overarching story of Pure Land Buddhism, of Jodo Shinshu. And this is Dharmakara before his teacher, again the Buddha Lokeshvara Raja, praising the virtues of his teacher. Well, what follows next, after this Gatha, there's more to the story, right? This occurs kind of early in the story, in this larger Pure Land Sutra. When Dharmakara first meets Lokeshvara Raja, after he praises the virtues of his teacher, he asks for Lokeshvara Raja's help. We all know that Lokeshvara Raja eventually helps Dharmakara, but Lokeshvara Raja first says, if you work hard enough, you can do this on your own. And so you apply yourself, or you study hard. If you can, it may take a long time, but you'll be able to do this on your own. But Dharmakara says, I don't know where to even begin. I have this aspiration, but I don't know where to even begin. And so he asks Lokeshvara Raja again. And Lokeshvara Raja agrees to help Dharmakara. So Dharmakara studies with Lokeshvara Raja again for a very long time. And then eventually fulfilling these promises, becomes the Buddha Amida. Lokeshvara Raja, Dharmakara work together. They work together. Amida Buddha, Dharmakara doesn't become Amida Buddha by himself. He does the work, he does the practices, he does all of that. But it's with the instructions or the support, the relationship between Dharmakara and Lokeshvara Raja that Dharmakara eventually becomes the Buddha Amida. Sometimes we think, Amida Buddha, so big, so far away, so infinite, infinite compassion, infinite wisdom, well beyond all of us. But Amida Buddha doesn't become Amida Buddha alone. It's this relationship between Lokeshvara Raja and Dharmakara that eventually Dharmakara is able to become Amida Buddha. This interdependency between Dharmakara and Lokeshvara Raja is something we're all a part of. You know, we all are a part of that relationship between individuals, between ourselves and the world. And it's these relationships that make our lives possible. Because of Dharmakara's promise and the fulfillment of that promise and becoming Amida Buddha, that relationship between myself and Amida Buddha allows me to become free, allows me to become able to do the kinds of things that I am able to do. That assurance allows me to look at myself as I am and to be able to think about and reflect upon the connections that I share with the world around me. I don't exist alone. I live in a world in which I am dependent upon the world around me, as is the world around me dependent upon what I do, my actions. When we think about this larger Pure Land Sutra and this Sanbutsuge, which we just read, it's one of the longer gathas that we read. Juseige is the other one we read. It's a little shorter. I used to think that we read Juseige all the time because it's a shorter one, but it is one of two gathas that come from this larger Pure Land Sutra. And again, in this larger Pure Land Sutra, we hear about the story, the myth, or the overarching story of the Bodhisattva Dharmakara, who practicing, teaching, learning from his teacher, Lokeshvara Raja, is able to become the Buddha Amida. We are able to live our lives because of the relationships that we share with the world around us that make it possible for us to be able to do the things we are able to do in our lives. So when we say Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude, we say Namo Amida Butsu certainly for the assurance of Amida Buddha, that we too will become Buddha, but for all of the things that make our lives possible. We're grateful, mindful of that relationship that we share with the world around us. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto. We will now have Gatha Sayonara on page 103, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book and page 15 in the big book.
Sayonara minasan go kigenyo. Sayonara sensei o daiji ni. Tanoshii kondo no tsudoi made.
The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives. Namo Dabutsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo
Butsu.
Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Mr. Akizuki, and Mr. Jones, and to organist Mrs. Jones. Are there any other announcements?
Morning, everyone. Thank you all for showing up today. I just want to take this opportunity. I know you guys see me talk about Dharma Center, right, our fundraising. And so, as you know, we had this $2 million matching campaign that was supposedly by the end of December, but we've come very close to fulfilling that $2 million, but not quite there. So the family has graciously allowed us to extend that till the end of February. So please consider donating, and your donation will be matched dollar for dollar. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Marcus Sakurai. I'm from Boy Scout Troop 611. On March 11th, we will be having our family dinner. Each dinner will have Korean barbecue meat, rice, broccoli, salad, and dessert. You can reserve your ticket at the Eventbrite link. We will have dine-in or takeout. Each dinner will come with raffle tickets, and there will be an opportunity to purchase more raffle tickets that day. You can send or bring a check to the church office or give to any Boy Scout. There are flyers in the back of the church. If you have any questions, there is an email address on the flyer. Thank you for supporting our troop.
Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Jacqueline, and we're from Junior YVA.
So this year's annual spaghetti dinner will be on Saturday, February 4th. Tickets are $10, and there are both dine-in and takeout options.
If you're interested in purchasing tickets, please look for the Eventbrite link in the January Dharma newsletter.
Thank you.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service, or visit the open door cafe outside. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the streets. Thank you for attending today's service.
See ya. Bye. Bye bye. I'm sorry? I have. Yeah. You have? Wow. Wow, that's exciting. Good for you. Bye-bye. Yeah. Let's see. So, I guess one is called Teachers of Buddha. And if you stop at the office, ask Richard, office person this morning. They will show you where that is. Give you a copy. It teaches the way. It's an orange book. And you can go this way.
Okay, and then just right next door?
Yeah.
I've never been in the office
Oh,
before.
okay. Let me go with you. Let's see if Dave's ready.
Good morning. Before we begin this morning's service, just a reminder that we ask no food and drinks inside the hondo, and please turn off your cell phones. We will begin this morning's service with opening meditation, followed by sutra chanting Juseige, page 93 in the large service book, and 23 in the Dharma school service book.
생슈몬 어서 조만서 이 여러 진법 니칭아츠 슈즈기 갱코 엄풍옌 이슈카이 호소 고세근어구홈 조오나이 슈즈 셈모시시급 그여이사이붓 그성무슈 동무혼 난내시트 조만 도그이상가이오 여무트문 계집 전하tum이부쇼 랑가그에니 도시사이쇼손 싱간약도카 나이센노간도 오그쇼텐닌 도우침명예
So please rise for Gatha. I'm a link in the golden chain, which is on the second page of the yellow book. And then please remain standing for the three treasures, which is on page 3 of the Dharma school book.
I'm a link in the golden chain. Harmony may we all attain. Gentle to all living things, will unite us all as golden rings. I'm a and strong, my link will grow through pure and loving deeds I know. Pure and beautiful thoughts I will think, and pure and beautiful words I will say, and pure and beautiful deeds I will do for the world and for you, spreading kindness and love every day to all living things that come our way. Amida's chain of love is bright. Through peace and love we will see the light. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Thank you. Please be seated.
Next, we'll have the Dharma message delivered by Mr. Michael Jones.
Please join me in Kansho. The name embodying the primal vow is the act of true settlement. The vow of entrusting with sincere mind is the cause of birth. We realize the equal of enlightenment and supreme nirvana through the fulfillment of the vow of attaining nirvana without fail. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Good morning. For those of you who attended the 9:30 service, it's going to be hard to believe that Rinban and I did not coordinate. So you're going to hear some familiar topics. A few years ago, I got into a hotel elevator along with an older Hakujin gentleman. And after the doors closed, I turned to him and offered, "Hi, how are you today?" He frowned and he said, "I'm alive." I answered him, "Well, that's better than the alternative." He said, "I don't know. I've been made a lot of promises." I assume he was referring to being part of a Christian tradition and the promises of the land of milk and honey, heaven. Most people, at one point or another, give some thought to what comes next. What happens when I die? In our case, in Jodo Shinshu, many turn to the questions such as, how do I get to the Pure Land? The passage I opened with is the 5th verse of the Shoshinge. Just in case you were wondering, there are 30 verses in the Shoshinge, not counting the Wasan. That adds another 17. You can talk to me later if you want to know why I know this. Anyway, the verse tells us that Amida's primal vow the vow of entrusting with sincere mind, is the cause of birth in the Pure Land. Amida's fulfillment of the vow is what causes us to attain enlightenment without fail. Well, it's simple, right? Amida takes care of all the work. There's nothing for me to do. Well, let's talk about that just a little bit. There were people during the time of Honen and Shinran both that took that attitude. Since Amida will take care of everything, I can do whatever I want. I could follow all the teachings. I could be true to all the precepts and just be a good person. But some took that thought process further. If I'm a good person and never break any of the precepts, they said, then I'm not showing faith in Amida. In fact, I'm showing that I don't believe in Amida's vow and that I must earn merit to attain enlightenment. There's a fancy name for that approach to life. It's called antinomianism. And in fact, the local authorities, spurred on by the Tendai monks on Mount Hiei, charged Honen and his followers with disrupting the community by promoting criminal and antisocial behavior with the reliance on Amida's vow. And you know the rest of the story. Eventually, Honen and his followers, including Shinran, were stripped of their ordinations and exiled to remote areas of Japan. This belief in the power of Amida's compassionate vow was really the source of a lot of trouble. The Tanisho addresses this issue too. The Tanisho, if you're not familiar with it, is a series of passages attributed to Shinran, but documented by one of his followers, Yuenbo. The 13th chapter, and these chapters are all very short, includes this story. Once there was a man who fell into the wrong views, proclaiming that he would purposefully do evil as a way of attaining birth, since the vow is directed to those who commit evil. Thus saying, he performed many evils. When Shinran heard about this, he admonished in a letter, "Do not take poison just because there is an antidote." He made this point to correct such wrong attachments, but not at all to say that evil is an obstacle to attaining birth. So let's take a moment to remember the 18th vow. The larger sutra, one of the 3 Pure Land Sutras, which we look to as our primary doctrine or teachings, contains the story of Bodhisattva Dharmakara. Like I said, you're going to hear some familiar things from the 9:30 service. The story goes that a king once heard a Dharma talk given by the Buddha Lokesvara. He was so moved that he gave up his kingdom and became Bodhisattva Dharmakara. He then committed to becoming a Buddha and created 48 vows which he recited to Lokesvara. Of these 48 vows, the 18th is known as the primal vow. Now you made, in the 9:30 service, we chanted Sanbutsuge. In this service, we chanted Juseige. Both of those gathas are from the larger sutra, and both are Dharmakara talking about Lokesvara and the teachings that he got from him, and so on. So everything's connected here, and that's a good thing. But this primal vow that we talk about, the global organization that we belong to is called Nishi Hongwanji-ha. Nishi, that's west in Japanese. That's the easy part. And the Honganji is made up of 3 words. The Hon means base or primary or main. The Guan is a form of Gan, which is the word for vow. And Ji is temple. So Honganji is primary vow temple, or temple of the primary vow. We are part of the Nishi Honganji-ha. The other group that you may be familiar with is the Eastern group, Higashi. The word for east is Higashi. The Higashi Honganji. So the Higashi and Nishi headquarters in Kyoto are just a few blocks away from each other. Anyway, back to the 18th vow. The 18th vow reads in part, "If when I attain Buddhahood, the sentient beings of the 10 quarters who, with sincere mind and entrusting heart, aspire to be born in my land and say my name even 10 times, should not be born there, may I not attain perfect enlightenment." Now, Bodhisattva Dharmakara's vow is that all of us will go to the Pure Land. All of us will attain enlightenment. So what do we have to do? According to the vow, we must be of sincere mind. We must aspire to be born in Amida's Pure Land. And we must say Amida's name, Namo Amida Butsu, even 10 times. Sincere mind, entrusting heart, and aspiring to be born in the Pure Land. These really don't sound all that difficult. But Shinran explained things to make them easier to comprehend and easier to accomplish. Shinran taught that these things, too, come from Amida. They're part of what we call Shinjin. And we're not going to get into Shinjin here. That would take another series of Dharma talks, and you'd be here all week. So, all of these things, Shinjin, that alone could fulfill the messages I talked about. Just thinking about these key words from the vow, sincere and trusting and aspiring. If you want to go to the Pure Land, later, not right this minute, please, then you are aspiring, right? If you are sincere and entrusting, you have no doubt that Amida will provide the path. No doubt. That's Shinjin. Shinran's message to us was that even a foolish being such as he, Shinran, could attain enlightenment, but only through the workings of Amida's compassionate vow. If we were to try to do this on our own, it would be impossible. We often refer to the Pure Land tradition and Jodo Shinshu as the easy path. And this is as a contrast to the difficult path, which is also called the path of sages. These were the ascetics, or renunciants. They gave up everything, material possessions, family ties, home, everything. They went out on their own and meditated. This was the story of Siddhartha Gautama as well. He gave up the material wealth from his family, left his wife and young son, and left the palace behind. He meditated, ate very little, meditated some more. In fact, he ate so little that he eventually passed out, emaciated, and without energy. If not for the kindness of a young girl who brought him some milk to drink, he may have died where he collapsed. But this event led him to reconsider his approach. It was too extreme. He had left a life of no wanting and set off on a life of no sustenance. It came to him that there was another way, a third way, a middle way, the middle path. Not a path of wealth and abundance, but also not a path of severe deprivation. But even the middle path by which Siddhartha eventually became Buddha Shakyamuni was difficult. Plus, even in Shinran's time, it had been 1,500 years since Buddha had passed away, and his teachings seemed very distant. For Shinran, the difficulty of the path of sages and the Buddha not being here to teach us made it almost impossible to attain enlightenment by your own power. Shinran taught that Amida's primal vow was there for us. It doesn't matter if we're good or filled with evil. It doesn't matter if we could devote our entire existence to the path of enlightenment, or we had to work every day to sustain our family and ourselves. In fact, the people that Shinran spoke to were farmers and tradesmen, ignored by other traditions. These people could not sit around meditating all day. They had fields to tend to. They had stores to run or other jobs that took up their whole day. So what does this all mean for you, for me, for all of us? Back to the original question I posed. What do I need to do to get to the Pure Land? First, don't be in such a hurry, but the path is not difficult. Namo Amida Butsu, the Nembutsu, say the name. Buddhism in general teaches us to live in the present. And as I've said before, worrying about the past is useless. There's nothing you can do to change it. Worrying about the future is futile. You cannot predict what will happen. Worrying will only serve to diminish your mental and physical health, your quality of life. One teaching common to most Buddhist teachers, regardless of the sect or the time period, is that we should live a life of gratitude. There are two parts to that statement. First and foremost, you must live a life. You can only do that in the present, in the here and now. How do we live a life in the present? First, get out from in front of and put down all of those devices. Cell phones, tablets, laptops, and televisions. These enticing luminous screens rob you of the here and now by taking you into the past, the future, and into other people's lives. Leave all of these off and take a walk. Enjoy the trees, the birds, the nearby pond or stream, the sky, or just the people around you. Don't look down as you walk. Look straight ahead. Say hello to the people you pass. Smile at people, even the ones you don't know. Granted, many of them will not notice you because they will have their heads down looking at their devices. My wife and I are fortunate to live near a large park, and there's a pond which, when it has water, attracts ducks, geese, turtles, and an array of other wildlife. There's something special about sitting at our kitchen table in the morning and the evening and hearing the honking of a flock of geese flying overhead on their way to or from the park and the pond. That would be hard to enjoy if we had the TV blaring in the background. Meditation comes in many forms, but just sitting and thinking is good too. Think about the things that you have for which you are or should be grateful. A roof over your head, food, access to medical care, possibly enough money to take an occasional vacation. Whatever you have in your life, think about the people in your life that impact you. A spouse, parent, children, siblings, fellow temple members, friends. Try to think about all the people in your life who have done something for you. If you're over the age of 10, that should take you quite a while all by itself. With all of this, Namo Amida Butsu. Find in your heart the gratitude for the things that you have and the people around you. Have you saved a little bit of that gratitude for the Dharma of the Buddha? Have you given some thought to how the teachings may have helped you at some point in your life? Living a life of gratitude is not hard work. It may bruise your ego a bit when you realize how much you have benefited from the work, love, and attention of others, and how much you have actually depended on them. But that's a good thing. A good dose of humility is good for all of us. Shinran's devotion to Honen was largely due to his view of Honen as a person of great humility. So how does one get to the Pure Land? Namo Amida Butsu, the Nembutsu, say the name. Live in the present. Namo Amida Butsu, say the name. Live a life of gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu, just live. Please join me in Gassho. The name embodying the primal vow is the act of true settlement. The vow of entrusting with sincere mind as the cause of birth. We realize the equal of enlightenment and supreme nirvana through the fulfillment of the vow of attaining nirvana without fail. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for your Dharma message. Next, we'll have Gatha Ondokusan II, which is on page 220 in the large book, 76 in the small book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Namo Namo. Thank you. Please be seated.
Are there any announcements today?
Hi, I'm Larry Honda. I think I'll just give some of the announcements that were given at the 9:30 service. if you're like my wife and I, we're always, when the weekends come around, so we normally eat in during the week, but on the weekends we treat ourselves and eat out. So, age-old question, you know, where do you want to eat for dinner tonight? Where do you want to eat? So I've got a deal for you. There are two things coming up that have been announced the last couple of weeks. First one coming up, I believe, is in a week or two. Saturday, February 4th, our junior YBA is hosting their annual spaghetti dinner. And it's a good deal. I think it's only $10. So if you and your significant other go, it's only $20, cheap date. And they have options. So for the first time in a couple years, you can eat in, but they also have takeout options. So that's one. If you want to order tickets for that, that's through a link in the January Dharma newsletter. Second one that was announced was, I think it's March 11th, our Boy Scouts are doing their annual Korean barbecue dinner, Korean beef and broccoli and other stuff. So I don't know how much that one is, but it's got to be cheaper than going out to eat wherever you go anyway. So anyway, just like to announce those, and thank you.
Yeah, always looking forward to those dinners, right? It's a lot of fun if you've never gone, right? It's really kind of a gathering. Everyone gets to meet, hang out, eat some good food, and support our organizations here. There's a lot of things going on to support the organizations. Yesterday, actually, it's too late, obviously, but it was a lot of fun. The Cub Scouts had their annual Pinewood Derby race, and during that race, the Girl Scouts, and I'm not sure which Girl Scout group that was, had concessions. And so, again, it's just an opportunity for them to raise some funds. It was fantastic. I had Kahlua pulled pork over fried rice. It's like, that's not your usual concession fare, but it was really good. I really appreciated that. So if you get a chance to go out and support these organizations, that's fantastic. The other thing I wanted to mention, again, I've usually been talking about our Dharma Center fundraising that we've been doing to build our replacement for the education building. And so at the end of last year, we had the opportunity, we had a very generous donor step up and offered to match all donations up to a maximum of $2 million. And so that was supposed to end by the end of the year, but we didn't quite make that $2 million. So because of the graciousness of that family, they've offered to extend that to the end of February. So any donations made to this Dharma Center project will be matched dollar for dollar through February. Anyway, hopefully you can join us in that effort. Thank you very much.
I just noticed I forgot my mask up there. I will get that. Dennis and I and Mrs. Tanabe, Sugin Tanabe, are minister assistants. And this, I'd like to encourage people who may be interested in becoming a minister's assistant to seriously consider it. There's several levels that you can go to with this. Mrs. Tanabe, just works to help us and is identified as minister's assistant. Dennis and I both took an online correspondence course to qualify us to become certified minister assistants. You can stop at that level and learn more about the Onai-jin and the history of Buddhism and the history of Jodo Shinshu, or you can continue on to get ordination, and that's the path that I'm on currently. Now the good news is we have 3 minister assistants here at the Betsuin. The bad news is I'm the youngest one. We could use some younger blood. More blood's good too, but we could also use some younger folks who are interested. Again, this is not a commitment to go into the ministry or to give up your career and so on, but that's certainly an option. But if this is something that might interest you, if you be interested in learning more about how the Onai-jin is set up and the history of Jodo Shinshu and more about this part of Buddhism, then please contact me or Dennis Akizuki or Rinban and let us know of your interest, and we can talk about it. And if you're really interested, then we can talk to you about how you get going on that path. Thank you.
All right, thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Mr. Akizuki, Mr. Jones, and our organist, Mrs. Jones. This will conclude today's service, so everybody is invited to offer incense after the service, and please drive home and be safe. Thanks.